Hey, Captain Goat, buddy. You've been with me since day one, eh? Anyway, listen, I'll make this real easy. Okay, what does NATO do in the Ukraine then? And if they're not a member of NATO, you don't understand. Okay, it's like this: the Ukraine wants to be a member of NATO, but here's the deal. I believe it's called the Rome Accords. An agreement signed many years ago. Well, not many, but a while back, between NATO countries basically and Russia. And basically what it meant is there would be no further eastern expansion of NATO. Okay? That was the deal. You don't push any further into Russian territory and we won't have a problem. Well, the U.S. has gone and built a bunch of things in Ukraine, labs and shit like that shouldn't be here because these are all gain-of-function crap like that Wuhan shit. Okay? Now, at the end of the day, the Ukraine has asked to become a part of NATO. And NATO has pretty much said yes. Well, that's in violation of the agreement, you see. That's why Putin's pissed, and he's warned them time and time again. Don't do it. Now, there are two eastern states in the Ukraine, and this is according to the girl that I follow that lives in Kiev, okay? And those are Russian separatist states. Internal issue. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of other things going on too. But I'm not getting into all that. What I'm going to say about the NATO thing is simple, okay? At the end of the day, these guys wanted to be in NATO, and that would violate the treaty. Do you see what I mean? That they signed, I think it was Rome. I think it's called the Rome Accord. But anyways, that would violate that. And that's why Putin's pissed, because he doesn't want NATO on the doorstep. Now, they may not be a part of Russia, the Ukraine, but he was quite happy to keep them there as a buffer between him and NATO. Basically, they don't want, you and your worst best enemy to be side by each. So at the end of the day, that's what's going on, okay? The Ukraine asked to be in NATO, and they were in the form of where they were trying to forge a way to do that. But there is no way to do it because they signed an agreement saying that there'd be no further eastward expansion. Now, I saw another thing on here I'll touch on real quickly, how they're saying that Germany buys all this gas and everything from Russia, but yet, the whole thing with back and forth. Listen, that pipeline, they'll just turn the tap off, okay? And in wintertime, that can be deadlier than an attack by turning off the gas because that heats a lot of homes in Europe. They supply probably 90% of the natural gas, if not 99% of the natural gas to Europe. So that's worse than bombing. So there's one way to come at the Europeans without actually attacking NATO. But at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. The Ukraine said, we want to be a part of NATO. Well, they can't legally do it. But NATO's going to stand tall and use media and everything else to justify their involvement, to try and save these labs for their World Economic Forum bullshit. And these labs are where half these diseases are being created that they're trying to let loose on everybody to gain control. Now, I think Putin's doing us a favor.